Hey, thanks for tuning into the Land and Home Show. Today we are talking all about how the market is doing right now. Hi, I'm Stephen J.B. Davis, your land specialist and residential realtor here in Central Kentucky and beyond. Today we're talking about how the real estate market is doing, and I'm on my way back from showing some property over in Casey and Lincoln counties, which are some really pretty counties, and I had some time to talk. I'm going to be in the car a lot this week, so I'm going to be recording a lot of things this week. The market's been going a little bit faster, and instead of talking about it from a quantitative standpoint, meaning lots of data, which is what I favor. I love data. I love empirical facts, but I want to talk about it from a qualitative standpoint to help sellers and buyers get their minds around how to maximize whichever their interest is. Because I've been noticing things as I've written multiple offers and had listings, and just there's a lot of uncertainty right now. We have a whole global situation going on in terms of Russia and Ukraine. I'm not about to talk about that, but they're economic factors that influence things. We're still having supply chain issues. We have rising interest rates. I have clients, between each offer that they've written, their interest rate for that particular offer, what they were likely to get, has increased every single offer. So interest rates are increasing. What else is changing? We are seeing some really interesting things around the way that buyers are offering, which I want to talk about a little bit. It's not just here we want to give you this place on wave inspection. There's a lot of weird stuff. So the first thing I want to hit on is sellers. Whether it's land, whether it's a home, a homestead, farm, it is your market. It's still your seller's market. However, the way you price your property, whoever you're using, wherever you are, you can be in Kentucky, you can be in California, you can be in Nebraska, the price still matters. I am running into more and more sellers that are, it seems like a free-for-all out here, right? Like, you want your piece of all of this crazy money that buyers are throwing at sellers. You still have to price your house within reason. You still have to price your hunting property within reason. I'm working on a few listings, and I have been working with several buyers on listings that they want with sellers who are priced $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 more than anything that has sold in their county. And we're talking about things that have sold that already sold for over asking. So I mean, at this point, it's just greedy. And to that effect, these properties have not moved. Buyers are not that desperate. If a buyer has a place that they can rent and they are not homeless, no one's coming to buy your $90,000 property. Or sorry, $90,000 overpriced property. And I'm talking in Kentucky terms. I don't know what's going on in New York. That $90,000 may be $200,000. The number may be different, but there is a threshold of reasonability, and there is a threshold of engaging people to even get them in the door. So while you may be really excited and hopeful and all of that as a seller or a potential seller, we're not in the thick of COVID, and we're not in the thick of a lot of people wanting to move. There are still lots of people that want to move, but things have shifted a little bit. So you're not working with the same level as a seller of buyer desperation that we were working with a year and a half ago. And so you got to read the room. If you want people in the door, frankly, the things that I have seen to be most successful lately is to to price your property, sometimes even I've seen a little underpricing as sellers, and like the multiple offers are just crazy. Whereas these massively overpriced ones, I talk to some of these listing agents for my buyers, and there hasn't been one offer, and the property's on the market for 30 days, 35 days, 40 days. Like, insane. Things are not generally taking that long to sell. But if you overprice it, it will. No one's going to buy the sandwich with the gross brown stuff in between the pieces of bread. No one's that desperate. It's different if it's a bidding war, but if you're trying to influence a bidding war, then you've got to have something that people want to bid on in the first place with how it's priced and the condition that it's in already. So that's the first thing. That's one of the dynamics of the market I'm seeing here, is just massively overpriced things, and then a few sellers who are either being advised well or have good instincts, or maybe have bad instincts but are listening to their agents, where they are underpricing things a little bit to garner that interest to get the blood in the water and get the sharks circling for what it is they're selling. So that's one dynamic of the market I'm seeing. On the other hand, buyers. While there has been a lot of pressure on you all, and the pressure continues to increase with these interest rates especially, and certainly with the amount of people you're having to bid against and all that stuff, like, I understand that it is frustrating. I'm frustrated with you because, frankly, with the buyers that I work with, if we don't close the deal, I'm not getting paid. So it's not fun for me to watch loss after loss after loss. However, your frustrations are not really relevant in a seller's market to the seller. The seller doesn't care. And so if you're approaching buying a property that is otherwise priced reasonably, that is otherwise in an area where other people want to be in, so I mean, it's high demand or high-ish demand, your level of frustration or fatigue is real, but what you do after that really matters. And so sometimes I think buyers want to dip their toe in. They're not as clear and direct in offers as they could be about what it is they're offering. When you're up against 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different people, being nebulous is how you go to the bottom of the list. There are literally people waiting in line with a very clear picture of what it is they're ready to give up and give to sellers in order to be the winning offer of something. But the testing out of things for stuff that's been on a market for a day, it does not behoove you. And while it feels incredibly unfair that with every passing week your interest rate goes up, and with every passing week there seems like there's less on the market, and every passing week it's just, it's loss after loss after loss in terms of the kinds of conditions you're buying under. You got to come out of some of that emotion and get in the game. Like if you're playing a football game and you jam your finger, you're sitting on defense and you jam your finger blocking some offensive lineman. The lineman wants to win. The lineman is the seller here. They're going to rush past you. They're not looking to ask if your finger's okay. They don't care. It is best for you to either sit on the bench until you're better, or to suck it up and play the game. You're still there. You still have to play the game. Now, yes, there are some unreasonable sellers out there, and there are some times when maybe you can afford to dip your toe in and see what's going on. But if you're buying something that everybody else wants and it is priced reasonably well, you don't have time to play games. You don't have that kind of advantage. And frankly, at this point, cash does not always do the trick either, which is another thing I wanted to talk about. I've got a couple of cash buyers who have offered tens of thousands over asking price, and they've lost every single time with appraisal gaps, with the whole nine. And I just want to reiterate to buyers here that winning an offer in any market has always been price and terms. Both of those things matter. You can offer all the money in the world, but if you don't want to close for 5 years, well, a $2 million price point, but having to wait 5 years to get your $2 million when someone else is offering you 1.5 today, you're probably going to take the 1.5 because you can close sooner. Who wants to wait 2 years to get their money? Anything could happen in 2 years. You might change your mind. You might find something else that you like better as a buyer. So price and terms are still the law of the real estate land. It's not just the money. Which brings me to this last note that I'm seeing about the market right now with buyers. Things that are working are really extraordinary things, and they're pretty crazy. Things such as post-closing occupancy, where buyers are saying, all right, here's the money, we're paying over asking, well, we probably have some funny thing about an appraisal gap, and you can stay in the house for 2 months rent-free. Or actually, we will pay you to stay in the house a month or 6 weeks or 8 weeks. These are some of the things that, while they don't feel fair, that is what the market is dictating. That is what sellers are accepting. That is what is getting things done. So this is a lot of qualitative stuff. This is obviously all anecdotal. You can't apply all of the situations to any state in this union, but the takeaways that you can probably apply to every single metropolitan suburban area in this country right now is it is still a seller's market. If you're a seller, you cannot be so unreasonably priced and still expect people to come in and like be throwing money at you. 3, even though you're a buyer, you got to suck it up and play the game or sit on the bench. And 4, you may have to really get outside of the box as a buyer in order to be that winning bid. How far out of the box is probably going to be dependent on where exactly it is you live, but I think that those 4 principles probably apply to almost anyone everywhere in the United States. Almost. So that's what I got for you. I hope it helps. I know not all of it's good news. I know that it's hard out here for a lot of reasons. I'm in there with my clients. I see this every day. I understand on some level. I'm certainly glad that I bought a house 3.5 years ago. But anyway, leave your comments below, your questions. Get in touch with me. My contact information is down there in that description. And I'll talk to you later. Peace.